something satirical that I wrote last night. I really enjoyed it. It's still making me laugh. I've read it a few times, and it's like, it still makes me laugh. Okay, it's good. I'm just reading the last paragraph. Like, this is quite funny, actually. It's quite funny. I know, I know, I know, I know. Don't say it, don't say it. I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, dude. I'm stoned. I know, I know. Don't say it. I know, dude. I know, I know, I know. I totally know what to say. I know, dude. I know, I know. I know. You believe you won't be surprised what I know. I know a pretty few things I do. I can tell my bum from my bum hole quicker than any man alive. Quick. We'll have like a standoff, and we'll see who can whip out their hand and stick it up their butt crack faster. Who can put their own balls up their ass faster? It's like, go. And you're like, you win, dude. What do I win? Nothing. Your girlfriend was watching. She wants an erection. What? She wants an erection. What does that mean? What if women only wanted erections? Well, all you had to do was get an erection and they were completely satisfied. I'm like, oh my god, it's an erection. It's an erection. Oh dearie me, an erection. My locks are mussy. How do you do it? It's so incredible. Oh please, don't make it go. Oh, when can it come back? I'll do anything. Put a frozen banana in your crotch. It's like, oh, it's cold this time. Oh, amazing. You need like start churches where women have to worship giant erections. Oh god, my own cigarette smoke scared me. I was actually terrified by my marijuana smoke. You smoke too much, dude. You smoke too much. Anyway, what if they worshiped a giant erection and they had to pour like milk on top of it and stuff? Like a Indian cow worship or something. What are they doing? They're pouring milk on the penis. It's their lord and master. And every now and then it rumbles and spurts milk onto them and they freak out and go into hysterical dances. Yay, it's the sperm from heaven that falleth onto the mouths beneath. Open your legs, children. It's raining, it's pouring. The old man is snoring. Woke up in bed and bumped his head. Couldn't get up in the morning. You know what's weird about that? That's like a Cockney song. It's probably, in a sense, a strange rationality for a father who can't get out of bed because he drank too much. The old man is snoring. It's almost incidental that the old man is snoring, or that it's raining and pouring. It's just that the old man is snoring. And it's a way to sort of make up, like the Cockney language was about, or is about, saying different things in a sing-song fashion. Right? So, a lot of Cockney families, like my own, have alcohol-related issues, for instance. So, whether you like it or not, there it is, down and dirty. And the old man is probably drunk. It was like I was saying about the greatest American hero. He's probably being sexually molested. And himself is a bit of a sexual molester. Right? That's the greatest American hero. He's being sacrificed. The hero gets us to sacrifice things. You know, there's a time for a man to touch himself, and a time for a man to not touch himself. And if ever he should grow weary in these wilds of life, always know that you still know the difference between touching yourself and not touching yourself. You're not like, oh, officer, I didn't realize I was touching myself. I lost the power to discriminate between what touching myself and not touching myself really was. It's the one thing you always have, no matter where you are, is you know the difference between touching yourself and if the nurse comes in and you're touching yourself, you're like, are you touching yourself? No, I'm just scratching my balls. Some old women don't like me. Some old women like me very much. Some old women want to bite me. Some old women want to have me for lunch. I really envy these beta males and stuff that kind of seem gay. And I'm sort of partly made of you. And when I was young, you would have your groups of role playing or playing Uno or organizing your finances or whatever you were doing and having beers and stuff. I met different groups of sort of beta males who were doing quite well for themselves. They had their own cheers. They're probably still friends. They have families, they have children. Awesome, guys. I went to school with them. I wish I could show them how beautiful it is out here and how hard I work and the people I've met and keep myself positive. I mean, you have to think about something. I'm not going to come out here and dance like a fairy all day long, but I think if I can bring myself, as I have last year, to a little more positive, stronger place, I think I can do it. I've had to deal with a number of female alcoholics, for instance, and you got to learn to give yourself a break. I mean, nobody knows how to deal with female alcoholics. And I say that with respect to female alcoholics, like, I'm sure you're pretty sure nobody's going to deal with you, and you're right. Least of all me. I'm not going to deal with you, but I have had to contend. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, we all know a little bit about alcoholism. We can all talk. I can listen to myself. You can listen to myself. You can listen to yourself. A lot of us have something to say about alcoholism. Some of them. One of my big mistakes in life was being the kind of person who learned about alcoholism while never enjoying alcohol himself. So it's a drug that I've never enjoyed, but rarely. Oh, some tree is going to fall out here at some point. It's a substance that, but on very, very rare occasions, so I'm being honest there, I haven't really enjoyed. I didn't grow up enjoying having a beer with my father. You'd see that bottle of wine, Ernest and Julio Gallo, or whatever it was, and it looks so beautiful. My parents like white wine. It looks nice, green, yellow bottles. In the summer, the white labels. Never tried any. But that bottle was basically lighter fluid for the destruction of our home. Our home might as well have burned down 1,000 times. In the way that your home just burns with that vicious rage that is ignited in the blood of your parents, both of whom are still sustaining incredible shock from their respective childhood. While they're kind of a little bit ruining mine. As much as you can't ever really let it go. And you say, oh, okay, I lost it. At the very least, if you can imagine that there are those of us who go through a very dark journey to get from childhood to adulthood. Whether everyone does that, whether it's a positive thing, a challenging thing, not everyone's going to make it. It's more challenging, essentially, than what people think about in mythology and anthropology and whatever, the passage from life to death. And you think, oh, you're going to end up in hell, in heaven, Bardo. You have the Tibetan Book of the Dead. But the biggest fucking challenge you're really going to face is how you make it across the threshold between childhood and adulthood. Does that make sense? That's where the dark things live. That's where our sacred darkness comes into play. That's, again, if you read that into it, or you think, okay, it's difficult, but I did this and this, that's fine too. I mean, it's not, for me, it's not real, but I understand that it is, and I'm not stupid enough to think that my experience should be the same as everyone else's. We have, no matter if we feel oppressed like myself or advantaged, at the end of the day, we all have something to offer each other, and it's our job to see value in each other. Otherwise, we shouldn't be interacting. If you're out there, hey, I've never been traumatized at work, I made it from childhood to adulthood, yes, it's difficult, I've taken my own children through the same process, that's valuable. And you have all that incredible value that should fill you and keep you strong and happy long, 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 and your family long and strong. And I hope that I have something value also, even if I haven't had that experience. Maybe especially in my own way, because I haven't. And people do, by and large, live through a lot of things. I'm just happy to see you. I'm just happy to cross my legs. I don't need to be masculine. I'll cross them like a Venus with her Martian dentist. What? Plow, plow, plow. Plow, I trow. I plow, I trow, I plow. I plow. Instead of iPhone, I plow. For farmers, for Quakers, I plow. Oh, look, I've got I plow. How are you going to harvest this year? Well, I'm going to use my I plow. I plow. It's like a hoe. Like it buzzes and, it calls a lot of cheap labor to come and pick itself up and harvest all your food for you. All the way from China. It raises all the most cheap slavery you could possibly get, including really intelligent animals. It's iPlow. Get on the iPlow now, and you too can be a most successful Quaker farmer. And the Hutterites are not too far behind, so catch up there, ye old gentle folk. So this is the G4. G4 is a way of traveling around because here's the thing. You do anything enough, then it better be the right thing. You walk somewhere, you go somewhere. I've had serious doubts. I'm sitting here. I haven't actually had a chance to sit here this long in weeks and really enjoying myself. There's no people around. I got to go in a couple minutes. I don't want to get too cold, but there is a point where I'll just say this, I don't know if I'll upload this, but I work really hard at expressing myself, but I'm not as enthusiastic about uploading. I am trying to make videos on my computer to force myself to bring the person out here, as the occasion provides, into the person at home. So these will kind of be crossover videos where I'm not really going to be someone I think who's going to really be making videos like this that I upload, although I will keep making videos like this. And honestly, like when I make my at-home videos, I'll say things like, oh, I'm making one of my videos one day, because I'm going to be, I talk all the time and be like, oh, I've done this outside. I talk about these things outside. Today I was really frustrated because I thought If I was already, it was late in the day, and I'm sitting on my computer making a video, and I thought, I'm not sure if I said it, but I felt it in my chest. Like, if I was walking outside right now, I'd know what to talk about. I could just keep flowing. Right? So I got kind of stuck up. And, an hour later, I was taking a crap in the woods. And I was just like, oh, I gotta. So it may be that I'm better off making videos after, later in the day, after I've had some exercise, and maybe got a lot of anger out of my system. I tend to be more philosophical later in the day. And then every now and then I could be like, tomorrow's going to be an angry video. I'm going to make an video first thing of the day, and I'm probably going to be really angry. So you're going to see Angry Landon, right? It's Angry Landon Friday. Oh, wow, it's going to be his angry video. Because I can really fucking go strong and yell and be like some sort of angry druid who thinks he's a Norse god or something. Who's like, not really, but I attribute my anger, and if I'm to say that it's a powerful, sacred thing, it's like, in a sense, I have religious icons, if you will, in the best sense, in the way that I have to share my anger with them. Like, if I want my anger to be sanctified, I want to share it with the earth. If I can't share it with my father because I've had too much of it at my father, I don't think my father really confessed to his true anger. And so I got abused or whatever. Underneath it all was probably a lot of anger and fear, right? So certainly human beings can do a lot while bundling all that anger and fear, whatever we put it, inside our bodies. And for my father, it was into his intestines, right? In some sense, right? And I'm not wishing my father ill. I just like, in fact, I wish to relieve and make sound every aspect of my father's body. He's lived long and strong this far, so obviously I didn't get a chance to learn what he was good at. And what he did show me, at best I would say there was probably a lot of anger in it. And while I'm capable of being very angry and getting angry about things, that's not how my dad rolls. He doesn't, when he, I saw his anger most when he was directing it at me. And it was like he wouldn't get angry, he would get even. He would just cut right through you. The way Mike Tyson would punch like nobody was standing there. It's just like he would just, like you weren't even there. He would eliminate you. And that energy, that witchcraft, that's what like a violent person will do. They'll just cut right through you. Even if you died, though, no one can prove that they did anything wrong. So think about that. And I'll stop myself right there, because I'm trying to be mature. Like if I'm going to upload videos and say, okay, that's pretty provocative. That's, you're talking about murder and energy and how people see each other. If you put a circle around that, what would you call it? Like a combination of some sort of obsessive nature in my own mind, or illness, or the nature of abnormal psychology. And I have thoughts about it, probably maybe an abnormal number, but let's see, these are fair thoughts in the realm of abnormal. If we just say the stuff that we really don't understand, but I put together things in my mind because, say the thing about Mike Tyson and punching, because I already had thought that. I've written books about it. And so I can look and go, hey, I recognize what he's saying when he talks about how he punched people, because that's how I feel psychotics interact with me, as though I don't exist. So my idea of rape is that when people are treating you like you don't exist, which I know, not every time someone mistreats someone is rape, but it depends. And this is the scary part, and it should be scary. Like, it depends on what we take from people. If I neglect you or your child, and I'm busy, or just my thoughts, I'm angry one day and I walk by you and maybe I didn't see them standing there, and did I rape you? Well, I guess. Maybe if I rob them of their innocence in some way. And if we feel like robbed, like say if a month or a year later you're like, man, that man took something from us, we didn't feel safe here anymore. We feel robbed. And if that's true, then I would say, yeah, that's like sexual assault. But it may not be that it's for everyone to think along those lines. But if we think, like, how careful am I with other people? Very careful. Very careful. If someone is not being a bother to the environment, like, they have my highest respect. I'm as careful with every two-legged as I would be with a group of bears. people are tender, they are vulnerable. But they're as vulnerable as they're strong. If I were to hurt someone out here, even if they were vulnerable, 10 police officers come out, they're not vulnerable. Behind every woman is like every police officer in the world. Right? Every and any strong man, like, I know what I mean? Like, I don't have any desire to hurt anyone. And everyone is as strong as a bear, even of themselves or through their social worth and value. And so if I took something from someone out here, in a legal sense, they could take something from it. In a social sense, they could beat me up, right? I would be taking, in a sense, myself away from this place. I would be losing something by my own petard. And if you tend to, I walk around and I can be aggressive with things that you need to be aggressive with. Say, if I may excuse myself, investigating really powerfully, emotionally traumatic, deep things about my existence and that of others that I do not feel equipped to say I care so much about, because I notice I don't live a very service-oriented lifestyle. So I'm not sure how caring I can say that I am, but probably a lot more caring people than I. Oh, success. I'm going to get up to force myself to go now. I'm getting quite comfortable sitting there. Oh, we do have to stand up now. Yeah. Oh, we got a seagull. Hello. Steven Seagull. Steven Seagull, this I know, for the bibbidi 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 tells me so. I like songs reinvented by Landon Bukowski. Yes, heinous loves me. Did he say heinous? Yes, a heinous loves me. Since Mercury and Mars were putting people in their jars, I say heinous loves me so. Mercury and Mars are putting us in jars. A poem for my local coffee shop. Mercury and Mars are putting us in jars. Venus rhymes with penis, and I think the stars could do better. Now you may snap your fingers or spread your legs. Either way, I'm quite at your mercy, my lady. What is it about coffee shops and women spreading their legs that just pumps my nads? You're a different person when you know what it is, Landon. You've got by myself testicles. You have big, humongous testicles when you're by yourself. Huge cojones. When you're around people, tiny as a mouse. In some sense, they're swollen. In other areas, they have shrunk. You're like the Hulk. Or maybe more like David Banner. What if he was like really delusional? Like paranoid delusional? He's like, I'm really angry. I am big and green. I'm mad and angry. I tower over you. Because the strange thing is, like, people that are angry. Let us go on the causeway. Let us go to the causeway. Causeway. You're gonna be late for work. Don't tell me you don't know how to twerk. Don't be late for work. On my watch. Don't be late for... What if there was a TV show called The Working Guy? It'd be like, in the theme song, it'd be like, hey, Don't be late for work. Your boss will go berserk. You're driving in the easy lane. You're taking pills to keep your brain alive. The working man is looking for paradise. Look, there's the place that I work. Ooh, he goes and buys a hot dog at the hot dog stand. Says hi to a pretty girl who's a man. Goes up to his office on the 13th floor. He says, whoa my, this is such a bore. But that's okay, cause at 3 o'clock I'll meet you at the coffee pot. Oh, that's a genius. A genius. I'll tell you about the infection in my cock, and you'll be, oh my, can I still come over on Friday? The perfect girl. All I need is to get that next job, the promotion from the boss named Bob. Watch my show, I'm the really working guy. The really working guy. This is the pilot episode. If you can do a teleplay of this, you can keep the rights. I'll give up all the copyright. This is the first episode. Hey Joe. You ready for the Christmas party this week? It's gonna be a real sick party. Really? Yeah. I think this year they're going to try to make us sick again. Oh. Everyone got food poisoning at the last Christmas party. It was like, yeah, that and the fact we didn't get our bonus was a bit of a bummer. I had to go to the shooting range 10 times that week. You said enough, Joe. I too have deep, murderous rage that sometimes goes out in fits of homoerotic desires. What? Transplanted onto women's boobs, which are the things I really want to play with, not your testicles. Doug, that's very confusing and a lot of disturbing information all at the same time. But here in our office, we practice gender rights and gender fluidity. And who knows, the binary maybe is nothing. So, let me tickle you, Doug. Just let me tickle you and just get all that energy out. You're like my retriever back at home. There you go, let me just get your belly there. All right, back to work. I'm the working man. We're gender neutral whenever we can. Do. Bagels and cream cheese with logs. Oh, I think I just heard some thunder. Thunder down under. Thunder. Down under. Don't make me wait for the wine. Don't make me... It's actually kind of dark. I'm realizing that it is a bit later in the day. It's kind of cool though, actually. I knew I was going to hit some darkness today. I knew, people. I predicted it. That's right. I stuck my dick out and said, what do we need to know? Number one. It's like, well, thanks for calling me number one. That's all I ever wanted from you, is just to call me number one. Make me feel like I'm really in charge of something for once. It's gonna be dark out today, sir. That's all I needed to tell you. Sorry about the other stuff. Yeah, it's gonna get dark earlier because we started later. Right. You're very smart, Mr. Penis. Thank you. So I predicted it. My dick got on top of it before I did. It's not pussy. He's more of like a hound. He kind of scents things, picks things. I was like, ooh, he doesn't like any of the pussies he smells. He's like, oh, I don't like that one. If a woman asks me, how come we've never had a girlfriend? It's like, my penis doesn't like the smell of your vaginas. He turns up his nose entirely. It's like, you treat your penis like a person. It's like, he has thoughts. He thinks about things. And I honor that in him. He's never seen one that didn't make him want to take the testicles and crawl back up inside me. Which is to say, I don't think I've ever seen a real one. I don't think those were the real thing. They were ugly monsters. Little pimples on them. The pubic hair just freaked me out. I haven't seen it before. Which, if you said that 50 years ago, would mean you were probably a pedophile. Okay, calm down. This really is a little scary, actually. Most people are like, who the hell would I be if I just spent every day all by myself? I don't want to know that. I don't want to know. People. Honest. Hey. Nice. Wow, I love your necklace.
Yes.
Yeah, I do. I love your necklace. It's weird. I don't get it, you know? She's a bit smarter than he is. And I like men, don't worry. Like, he's a nice guy. Dog, really cool. I love his color. Like a lion. And then the guy was talking about a lion. And I thought, your dog's a lion. That's perfect. They're nice people. She's a little bit smarter than he is. I don't know, but it works, you know? It's like, shit. I didn't realize you could just talk with a girl and just talk like total shit. But like, he makes it sound like it's the bee's knees, you know? He makes it sound good. Like, a lot of men, like, if they can tell a good story, or women too, that's all it takes, you know? Like, that guy could maybe he's probably just talking about seeing a Lion King for the first time, you know? But he's turned it into like this incredible alpha male sounding song. Like, imagine a show where this guy's like watches Lion King and he cries and plays with himself, looks at pictures of his mother and rips a single pink petal off of a rose with thousands of stems lying on the floor, upon which he cuts himself and bleeds everywhere. And you're like, whoa, some weird Catholic thing. Okay, anyway, well, it's my thing. But he watches things like Lion King, and then he goes out and he acts like a total alpha male to his girlfriend. He's like, yeah, I saw this lion. It was like, it's, you know, he roared because like that was this pride of his territory. They don't really have to do a lot because the women do everything. So, but that's great. Anyway, what about you? It's like, I don't think that was the Lion King. That was a mixture of National Geographic and Out of Africa. Yeah, you're right. You're so smart. You're smarter than me. You're smart too, John. You just have to stop bullshitting everyone. You know, like, it's okay to enjoy the Lion King and play with yourself and walk around your apartment, stepping on discarded rose stems from the one pink rose from whose petal you pull every day. You pulled yourself and crying at pictures of your mother. That's okay. That's a decent religion. Where I study anthropology at MIT, you know, that's it's called tenure. That's called tenure. You know, like, hey, you're why I got tenure, and then you became my boyfriend, and it's all worked out so well. I'm still getting grant money just to be your girlfriend. Thank you, Elisa. I feel so special. I knew that I would make my stamp on the world. Oh, could you call me Lion Stamp in your next essay? Sure. Let's call it that. Lion Stamp. I like that. Today he called himself Lion Stamp. And then I caught on one of the cameras I've installed in his bedroom. He played with himself again and, well, pulled another pink flower stem and sat down and played with himself. Last 6 years, I've told him that one day I'll suck his cock. And I never do, and he doesn't seem to complain. He's a total beta. He's a Zeta male. He's a feminist man. He pulls himself whenever he can. But yeah, I think my penis can smell women's vaginas. It's never really gone alert like those dogs when they smell something good. When the tail goes up and he goes fully erect. Oh, sorry. It's never smelled that good. Some have smelled pretty good. Like vanilla scented candles. Every time I've thought about sticking my in her boobity boobity boo, I've had some of the nicest moments of my life. And I whacked off in 30 seconds last night. I thought, that is the most wonderful date I ever had. Cheapest, most wonderful date I ever had. It was like, it's perfect. It's over. You don't need to know them. They don't need to know you. I love it. It's just, doesn't cost you anything. No one's going to accuse you of rape to everyone in town because you had some thoughts about, well, everything about them since you've known them. Some pretty crazy shit. So I walk through the woods and think I'm a man who took a drink. Maybe it was a bitter stew, and maybe my liver and the camphor of my bitter. I think that I could learn, even though stomachs burn. What's that part of the liver in the Chinese way? They call it the yang, where you deal with bitterness. Something, I think your gland, whatever that gland is. It's kind of nice though. I couldn't tell that guy what kind of dog I had. It's like, oh, it's a Shih Tzu Bichon. I was like, I couldn't think of the word for the life of me. I kept thinking Bastion, Bachon, Boner. Bichon. It's just not on my mind. Bichon. The things have been slipping out of my mind lately. And I thought, oh well, I guess I don't have that anymore. They're replaced by other things. I haven't used a term for a long time and it just slips away. But maybe it's for the best. I was supporting a certain concept with the reference to a certain think tank, and I can't remember the name anymore. It's probably for the best. It was never a positive thing. It's like, they basically helped create psychiatry, as we know. It's like, at some point you just get really honest with yourself and things that have never really been good for you, which is therapists. Oh my goodness. Am I that fucked up that I have to get treated this way by these people? Whether it's New Age spiritualists or this. Never had, it's like, I think I'm just one of those people that I'm okay interacting with other human beings. And I almost look to do so on what I would call a kind of therapeutic context. Like, hey, stuff has happened to me, and this is the kind of stuff that bothers me. If I'm correct, I think what you're talking about is similar sorts of stuff that bothers you. Now, I know that these types of bothersome things, though some people don't talk about them, they benefit from not talking about them. And the kinds of people that do come from, in a sense, a place where any one of us could be a little freaky, may go a little psychotic. And so generally, we don't really want to deal with each other. So it's hard to expect that anyone wants to deal with us. So we do tend to retire early from the idea of walking around thinking anyone really needs to know us, because I need to talk about difficult things, and the kind of people that would even listen to me tend to be a bit psychotic anyway, and I tend to not be as safe as I think I am. So, it's ill that begins with ill assumptions, I suppose. Anyway, then you could say, well, I listen to a tin can in my backpack kind of thing. That is so hobo, dude. You've actually got tin cans moving around your backpack. The fact that you don't even do anything about that. It's like, do something, man. And I'm going home is what I'm doing. It's quiet out here. My mom's saying, okay, it's so weird that I can go out here and get so stoned. And in some kind of wonderful, natal way, magical sense, nature has helped me. And I come home safe. My mom is happy. It's a pretty intense life. Very emotional. I'm going to come back to really come back to where I started. I do therapy for myself. That's what I've done my whole life. People don't know me. They don't know. What's that? Oh, that's the can again. I thought it was a dog barking, which is kind of cool. Sensitive mind, eh? It's been a long 2 years. I didn't want certain people to affect me as badly as they did. And I did eventually get them out of my life. I thought, these people really weren't very positive, so I'm not finding positive enough relationships. So, what am I gonna do? I can't do dating sites. I can't do hiking pages on Facebook. What would really be a safe environment for me? A creative space, probably, with creative people. Again, I don't know, maybe I'm in denial, but women, they tend to get a bit hasty about how they interact with me, and it's almost like I'm not allowed to expect women not to be interested in being around me, and I really do want to be around some kind of woman, but I just don't have it. That guy today, I mean, he's probably close to my age, and he has something I don't, a nice female. And I expect that he's quite happy with that. I mean, the person he has. It's nice. I've done some good low jacking the last couple of days, either with my camera or my joints. Today I literally threw my joint and it landed in my ashtray. I'm getting pretty good at that. I don't think I can do it in front of other people, but I'll throw my joint. I'm just cold, and I'll throw it and it'll land right on the ashtray. It's like, oh, good. It's not a talent in that it's consistent, but I can get into a state of mind where I can do that. I find it's best to be honest. But as a man, when all of your talents are just like magical sounding things that you can only do when you're by yourself, smoking weed, don't count as talents and things that you can put on your resume. So I don't find myself around people going, so how about you? Well, I can throw sticks and make them land where I want them to. And every now and then, when I'm in a kind of an ecstatic state, tired, fatigued by the great exertions I take not to want to kill myself. Oh, lovely. Have a spot of tea, will you? You're a smart man. I get that about you. Bit of a theatrical style of address, but all in all, a terrified little man inside, I bet. I've actually had, not quite that way, but I've had women talk to me quite directly. Not some, in shorthand, I can tell you, basically they said, I don't like you. I don't like the way you look. Oh, okay. And that just, unless you deal with those people well, that spells trouble. That's what I mean when women have the initiative. It's no contest. If a woman wants to molest me while I sit at her coffee table, she can. And believe me, by the time they want to do what I call molest me, hopefully it doesn't happen to you. And if it did, you would know what I mean when I say you have to be very careful. Choose your words carefully at that point. Because, the more hostile you become in exchange, the worse it is. If this comes from shock and trauma, as it probably does, however ill-conceived it might be by and many other explanations that this person will offer their best lesbian friend the next day on the phone, that will be basically start with exactly that. I don't like the way he looked, and I told him so. It's not usually the kind of conversation you have when you're looking for a place for rent. But I have to admit, some people seem really intimidated by me. And when I met her or him, I gotta say I was a little confused whether they were a her or a him. And so I'm not trying to be homophobic here. It's just an observation. Before, it doesn't have to go to identity, just something that when you first meet people, you have to have your little insecurities, and it's just the one that popped to the forefront of my mind. And I didn't make anything of it, but they sounded like a different gender on the phone than they looked in person. So that doesn't happen very often to me. So and they happened to be quite violent with me. So I thought maybe something really didn't agree between us. There was a miscommunication. When you can't figure on someone's gender by the time you meet them, like that you can say, well, at least you're not really picking up on them, or this may not be a good situation. Right? I don't mean like I need to know someone's gender orientation. I mean like I met a lesbian today, and I wasn't confused about their gender. And I didn't think I wasn't sure if they were a man or a woman. And it's like they seemed like a woman, but I got a nice energy of also a really nice man. And the two kind of blended nicely. I've learned that certain women, that's kind of how you should take them, and instead of getting irritated, like, oh, fuck, I thought they were a woman, but I think they might be a man. And that's kind of where homophobia can kind of come from. It's like, because you're accurately perceiving something, but no one's really taught you. And some people just learn without being told that that's, someone who has a different gender orientation. And it's fine. And if you really look at the poetry of how they're approaching you electronically, and whether they seem like a girl in one instance and a pleasant man in a woman's body in the other, is okay. It's great. They've probably fared. Take away all your unnecessary fears, or like a bear. They're faring well in the world, in a way that might, if nothing else, be shocking you, because you're being presented with a dimension that you have learned to fare in the world, where you actually maybe have some shock and trauma, in terms of how the world has touched your own sense of gender. That's all, because it's like part of our immune system. Oh, hi. Nice to meet you again. Hi. Hey. Nice to see you again.
The reality is, when shit hits the fan, the government's job, you're protecting government, not the people.
Yeah.
The people are your enemy.
Yeah.
People don't get that.
And that's
Good to see you again.
Yes,
Hi.
yes. Hello, round two.
By the way, I just want to say I love your dog's collar.
No, he's a stud for sure.
Yeah, that's a wonderful collar.
It is
He is a stud. Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Have a good day.
Yeah. I think I've seen you guys before, just a while ago. He's a stud. Oh yeah, because it's a stud collar. He's a stud. For sure, he is a stud. He's a nice, quiet, calm dog. And it's I said like our dogs, the one guy's like a kind of an expression of ourselves in a way. And he understood that. Some people kind of could and might and have. Be careful what I say to people. I was talking to a psychopathic male one day, and I said it in a different way, so I can say things in different ways, and he started getting weird. So I was like, he seemed to kind of, what he took from the way I was putting it is that maybe he felt like I was a little too observant, or someone that observant is someone his system started to think he might need or want to prey upon. So it goes from fear to almost like desire. It drew him closer to me in not a nice way. So I think if nothing else, in a sense, I interrupted his patter because it was smart enough to kind of make him feel confused for a moment, because he, it took him off his game. It could be anything like that, interrupting people who in that case, like to control the conversation and was making too much eye contact. And just, it's something that I've seen men that they just get into that very quickly. It doesn't matter. They can describe them as very different men. I could say, oh, this man was like this and this, and this, but at the end of the day, it's kind of the same effect. And the same thing with like women, cougars, too much eye contact. Young women, kind of like young cougars, too much eye contact. Too much eye contact. If someone makes too much eye contact with me, oh, And it's interesting when I said to him, I said, I like your dog's color. Because I immediately picked up in an intuitive sense that was his dog. I was like, oh, he's a stud. He's like, oh, yeah, definitely he's a stud. Want to know something strange? I kind of liked his girlfriend. I gotta tell you, she seems like pretty. I got a little bit better look at her too. She's, that's the nicest, prettiest looking girl I've seen for a while. That's kind of my age. He seemed a lot younger than me, but not her. I don't know. What to make of that. It was a warmth. She was a nice feminine energy. I shouldn't read too much. And she's comfortable because she's with an alpha male. I shouldn't read too much. It's good, if someone can be friendly to you while they're with their boyfriend, and he's comfortable and everyone's happy. It's like, holy fuck, that guy's a real alpha. This woman is comfortable enough to smile at me and feel warm. She's enjoying the warmth of his presence. She's comfortable with him. He's a nice guy. He's not volatile. He's not insecure. Holy fuck, man. His dog's not insecure. You mean his dog? That's the most fucking secure dog I've ever met in my life. I'll tell you, that is the most secure dog I've ever met. That is just, it takes a lot of shock. Shocking things to me are usually negative things, and it takes a while for them to sink in. That's like a positive shock. That guy is shockingly nice. That's a shockingly powerful, gentle male energy. This is like a land of bears, man. It's cool. And it was nice for her because in his presence, she can assess my energy. So that's a good meeting. It's just like, that's cool, But if I ever met her by herself, I'd be really careful because I wouldn't want to piss that guy off. I'd be like, is that your boyfriend? He's like, yeah. Okay. Well, I don't really want to talk to you that much because I just don't feel like that's a good idea. I'm going to go home and masturbate like a monkey in a mango tree. I want you to tell him that. Because he's just cute as a peach. No, I'd be deferential. Now, if she starts flirting with me, that would be a problem. And that's why, women have the advantage. He's good, he's great. I don't think it'd be a problem. I don't think it would. He's a great guy, and she was comfortable. Comfortable enough that she could be his sister. Not that she is, but I mean, the way I feel about her, she's definitely not my sister. She must have incredible pubic hair. My penis liked her pubic hair. A little reddish, Like Eric the Red has been down there, playing with things. ships, oceans, everything like now. Everyone's safe, but her pussy told the tale. There's like sea shanties inside there. Oh, if only we could come out of the most beautiful vagina, we would be the luckiest people who ever lived. And if maybe one day a giant cock came along and it needed to feed her, we would say, come, come inside, come, come, come. Oh, the ship is rising, falling, the bow is very hard. Come on inside and give us some of your lard. That's your old man semen there. It's congealing in her hair. Yes, congealing. That's right. No one uses that word anymore. It'd be great for Jeopardy. Things that congeal. I'm not sure if I'm using that word appropriately, but there you go. I'm not sure if I'm even here right now. Yeah, that's nice people. Yeah, you gotta be thankful for that. Wow, what a great day. And I got to see them twice. A nice dog. Yeah, she seemed really friendly though. It's nice. I can't see her face in my mind anymore because I wasn't paying that much. I wasn't trying to really take her all in. And I addressed him right away. I said, I like your dog's collar. Because I knew it was his dog, intuitively. Isn't that strange? I don't know why. I mean, that was that guy's dog because the energy was like, all there. Like, that's his dog. No doubt about it. And he's like, in a fantasy sense, he's like, dog, you got some senses on you there, dog. My girlfriend's pussy is yours anytime you want. Just let me clean it up for you. Freshen it up with a little turtle wax in there. She'll take you right here. I'm just going to go off in the woods and play with myself. She'll be like, Landon, I like all your little fantasies and stuff. They make me laugh. You're such a smart man. You need to spend more time with a beautiful Virginia. You need to have a chance to play with it in a way you didn't get to do when you were 15 or 16 or 25 or 30 or 40. Well, pretty much all of your goddamn life. And I take pity on the virgin 50-year-old. Kind of a rare demographic. I was already, when they made the movie The 30-Year-Old Virgin, I was already 45. Ooh. I know I'm going to be in Guinness. Oh. Having sex. I'm pretty sure if I keep my virginity to 65, Ed McMahon is going to pay me a personal visit. That's it, 65. That's my cutoff, Oops. Bad choice of words. Sex by 65. The man and the mission. National Geographic is now following me. That's right, Nat Geo. I'm having my 65th birthday, and they're sending prostitutes and cocaine. They feel sorry. Oprah Winfrey's like collecting money for me. She's like, if you can't get a white girl to fuck this beautiful man, I'll fuck him myself. Chocolate and all the sprinkles will be his just desserts. I'll put it in my new book, Oprah's Just Desserts. It's been my way of life since my skinny years. Okay. It's cool. Even when I was young, I sometimes would make fun of Oprah. It just seemed like he did especially in my early 20s, I needed to counteract what I would call the complete uncritical acceptance of TV celebrities. And certainly she is a well-known, fine, black, smart, beautiful, it seemed like she was always larger than life without being larger than life. A celebrity, an average person's average person. If an average person would become a celebrity who specialized in talking to average people and celebrities and being able to navigate through both worlds while being just as cute as a black tart on a slave colony, on the set of a movie starring herself, while shooting the most popular live TV show in the history of the world, then there you go. It's quite extraordinary. If you take it at face value, which, I mean, to be fair, I mean, no one's ever going to take me seriously if I don't take Oprah seriously. Oprah serious. I'd love to be. I sometimes think of being on Oprah. Now, to be fair, I don't. What do I want to say? I want to be a positive person, but I don't take celebrities too seriously. I absolutely would not question somebody saying like Oprah Winfrey, whoever she is, has done great things in the world. That's great. You know, it is nice to think like, but I have to think back to when I was between 8 and 18 years old, you know, which that's when she made the best impression upon me. And in that way that as children we can, you know, feel positively impressed by such people. And you would say, hey, great, you know, you liked Oprah. Right on, man. Oh, we would watch it all the time. I'd watch Oprah Winfrey. I loved it. I mean, she was the premier talk show. I didn't watch Jerry Springer. If you got Maury Povich, it was a rerun during the daytime when you were sick. You know, she was the one to watch. When Oprah came on, or a rerun, that, like, I think sometimes you'd have it at 3 o'clock and then the same one would be on the next day at like 10 a.m. or something. You know, whatever it was. And you'd sit there, let's say if you were sick, and watch Oprah. And it was the best show on TV. You felt like she was your own black mama. I'm sure people over the world have had dreams about Oprah the Black Mama coming to their sleep. It's really an amazing thing. I mean, she was and is kind of the mother of America. Isn't she? If America was just going to have a strong black mother, it would be Oprah Winfrey. And here we have to be careful, like, we're taking into our apprehension this human spirit into her power as an icon, right? And icons aren't to be manipulated willy-nilly, but at least it's not a negative thing to say about her. If we say that in her power as an icon, we can permit, out of respect, that by picturing her as a black mother of America, or even of North America, and Canada, or the people that watched her, the mother of the spirit of man, and so forth, in a very terrestrial, down-to-earth way, that would make what I'm saying sound quite an exaggeration, except that I think no one ever minds heaping praise upon Oprah Winfrey, and extending the range of her positive influence in the world, such as it may be characterized this way or that, by someone as remote to her as myself, someone that would be at the same time and in the same breath highly critical of her as a persona. But again, another part of the nature of icons, that anything that's persuasive can be criticized, and almost should, because, you know, lots of belief and faith demand a counteracting incredulity. I think it's just the nature of force and counteraction in the cosmos. You know, some of us are going to be naysayers, some of us are going to be prosayers, and in some sense we're kind of killing each other, you know, at certain thresholds, because it's like where we're coming from is for the sake of our very lives. There is something like human life at stake in what we put faith in and what we don't, and that we both have to be able to do different things in that regard. At a certain level, like at the level of whether or not you believe Oprah is this or that, we shouldn't be killing ourselves over it. But if you were to say that she was the Black Mother of America, we could respectfully attribute to this iconic way of talking about Oprah Winfrey, for instance, in that she was any and every black person you wanted her to be. You know, black women, the best black mother you know, whatever she would symbolize that a black woman or black women could be as though the Black Mother of America. The black people would be of her flesh and blood. The black people of America were the flesh and blood of a mother like Oprah Winfrey, right? She was a black and is a black woman. She doesn't have any children, but she is as though a black mother. You know, there's a Hindu mama called Amachi, a divine mother, as they believe. She's not, but I don't want to spoil it, people. And there is a dark side to this one in particular, but But we get around these things for a moment, okay? Like she comes around the mountain. Like the mountain's got some dark things about it, but let's come around the mountain for a moment before we have to check the caldera for an unwanted amount of volcanic sludge. Boy, it's quite whoa, misty. I saw a spirit over here. So you're just saying like the black people as the flesh and blood of the Mother of America comprehended in Oprah Winfrey. Really, I mean. So the Hindu Mother Amma, she doesn't have to have children because everyone is her child. You know, Oprah doesn't have to say, like in that racist sense, oh, y'all child, hey there child. I mean, she does use slang and idioms of that nature in some sense when she's being somewhat, I think, ironic or humorous, like, come on child. Like she even she can mimic herself or her own race a little bit, and it becomes like kind of an ironic way that she can talk when she's in a good mood and she's putting out that positive energy, you know. Right? I'm not sure if she ever did say child, but you know, I think she had certain comparable words among her repertoire or her vernacular or whatnot, and because it is a bit of a show, right? And but a nice one, I guess, certainly a successful one, and in a sense, like, if she is an actress, which I believe she is, she's a very good and intelligent study of black people. And as much as Amachi is an actress with no children, with or without whom that we know of, Oprah Winfrey probably may have children too, and under another alias, but as the childless black mother of America has done her work, done her background work as an actress. I mean, she did it. She did it. Could you, even as a theatrical exercise, be good enough to be the black mother of America? And so in this way of studying popular culture, if you take it all really deeply, I mean, it's like, okay, let's say it is contrived. There's levels of conceit, even the idea of an alien host hosting the personality of Oprah Winfrey, as though another persona in the world whom you do not even guess. That even could be a white person or a white man. You don't know, because actors at this level are that good. They're just that good. I mean, that's a strange thing, because we are, in a sense, thinking religiously now, because no one really knows this for sure, you could say. But I think they're that good. I think royal theater is that good. Imagine for a second that you could be that good. And if you wanted to get the most out of it, that we can start to, imagine this type of skill, these types of skills being used, would you need people to know just how good you were? Or would you benefit more if they didn't know quite how talented you were? Oh yes, here I am on the stage, right? I'm on that stage again, here I am. And you're like, whoa, I love Landon on the stage. Landon on the stage is my name. Landon on stage. Landon on stage. Ooh, Landon on stage. Posters in your children's room. Landon on stage and my backup singers. Landon on stage in my TV show. Landon on stage was the father of America in the 2050s. And then how do you know that after I'm landing on stage for you, I take off my bodysuit and I become Lara Croft or something, member of the royal family in this particular region of the world. And all the cast of characters that surround me, as far as your magazines or TVs are concerned, are all members of my family under various persona. Picked up and drawn from a study of various societies. That there's a kind of a traveling celestial TV show among every celebrity in terms of what you imagine about them, and people that they're with and who they are and so forth. Or you might never really know who they really are. And it's kind of scary to contemplate, isn't it? It's like, it brings up fear for me a little. But I'm like, fear for myself too. Like, oh, it's kind of strange things to think. Still their own hypothetical theory, opinion. Just, you don't want to err on the side. Well, I do put a lot of thought into it. And I have other reasons for believing these things, which I'm not supplying at the moment because I'm I'm not that good, I guess. But oh my goodness. Oh, bitty dee to and fro, to and fro. I gotta say, I'm pretty comfy. Pretty comfy out here. It's darkening. It's misty. Oh, it's misty. I don't know why it's so misty for me. I might have to take another crap. That's okay. I might have to take another crap, and that's okay. So I don't know if it's of interest to anybody. Taking the time. I mean, there's lots of interesting ways you can expand on that. I could expand on that. And I think other people could expand on it. It's an interesting theory. It's sort of one of those, it's in this sort of subject of how would you know the difference? Like if the sun orbited the earth or the earth orbited the sun, in a sense, how could you distinguish between the two? If everything else stayed the same, right? And it's quite difficult. And some scientists have approached that challenge. So it's in that realm of like, how do you know the difference? That, the world is not a stage and everyone upon it an actor of such caliber, you might benefit from not really ever having to know. Though that doesn't mean you can't truly enjoy it, right? If someone came into your life and they were totally fake and they made you feel better and they made your life a better place, would it matter if they were fake? Would it really be fake if it was that effective? Or is it not someone talented and gifted and almost celestial enough to call a star who came into your world and gave and gave and gave and gave and gave? But they needed to be able to be other people that weren't quite the person they were giving to you. They were just that good at giving it their all, at being this person that you needed them to be, and then passing on. So if they were somebody else or other people or part of other levels of higher culture on the earth, they don't just sit around in hotel rooms drinking champagne. They're incredibly talented, well-developed people who have strong families, long relationships, lots of true love, because they don't, as one set of characters kind of secretly said in one show, they don't base their relationships on the mutual love of Play-Doh, talking about children. Because that's basically what we are to them as children, who base our relationships on the mutual love of Play-Doh, money. They don't base their relationships on money. They base their relationships probably on true love, with high levels of development of their brain, lots of regular exercise, high culture in the true sense of the word, and knowledge really about eating and living and sleeping, and the wonderful things you can get from a body and a mind that are respected in the ways that royal families respect their families and have incredible loyalty built on incredible health and strength and well-being and knowledge that is supplied in a way that they learn to honor and respect greatly, especially considering that they may well be quite aware that it is, in some sense, it could be described as being wielded over the entire human race, right? For our own good. Has there yet been a fantasy novel by Isaac Asimov that has approached this possibility? And I think, in a sense, The Foundation, I haven't read it, but I think it probably touched on that a little bit. So I think about these things. I mean, it's like, I guess you could say, like a pothead who watches a lot of TV with his mother, and has seen Facebook sites where, various royal personages are revealed. But it did happen to coincide with some other observations which I had made quite of my own accord, and it just all came together. And I'm like, let's just say I can't find a way to refute it. It's my personal conspiracy theory of choice. And if I was hanging out with a nice lady, I'd be like, well, I think royalty control the world, and they play actors, and they have various different aliases, and it's incredible, really. They're incredibly talented people. Really are. If you combine, like, the best kind of education and the best possible environment, and that they never have to really develop any of the neurosis that they're so good at pretending they have in public and on TV and in film. They're so good at pretending they have neurosis, because they can pretend they have all the fucking problems we do, but they don't. It's amazing. And so theater is all about human problems, which the people playing these things never themselves really have to bear. It's incredible. But they take the time to bear them on our behalf, essentially, in a sense, to take them away from us, almost like a Christ, right? One incarnation of the idea of Jesus is a thespian, that he represents a royal order of people that torture us, though the lower people that they do in the name of Jesus, they themselves have their own way of kind of redeeming us by portraying different kinds of things in our lives that, if need be, you could say, have supplanted the role that a mother or father or a truly primal and connected society would provide for their children. And so that we do kind of get given up or orphaned to the larger dominion of what I would call financial culture. Our lives are always, in that sense, made like the calculus of dominion means that our lives are always derivatives. Our way of life is a derivative of royalty or custom and courtesy, but also kind of like perversions and derivatives of this, that, or the other order of how the world goes on beyond our ken, in terms of who benefits and who ultimately controls the kind of architecture of the various financial culture, which is in a way, in a sense, quite literally how the banking world and what's behind it gets its claws into us, gets into our behavior, gets under our skin, really moves us and molds us for a certain kind of reality. And it may be that, come as far as we have in today, that this doesn't have to be the worst thing in the world, but it is like something where creative and hurt and open and intelligent and lonely and happy and desperate and wonderful and lucky and magical and powerful people who deserve everything, who have been through enough that you could say, if you can find a way, Landon, to deserve and generate everything you deserve, and just being ready enough to feel worth it, then do it, man, do it, because you and people like you have that, and that should be your job, just being worthy of praise and riches being showered upon you. Be worthy of it. You've worked hard, you've walked long. Everyone has got their set of troubles that they've labored, and sometimes all it would take is a pat on the back and a real hug, not a sexual assault, to say, hey, I know what you fucking done, dude. I can see it in your eyes. Relax. You have nothing left to prove. You're home. Right, heaven is where you have nothing left to prove. You're home. If the world is a challenge, an initiation, when can you finally come home? Whatever home you're living in, go, I'm done. I have nothing left to prove. I had here and there a few days or moments in my life where you might laugh to think that I felt like I had kind of done enough that I had nothing left to prove. You would laugh and smile, but it's a nice feeling to have, especially when you do, not feel, you're not as well situated in life as, I don't like to say it, but that's a belief too, like, I believe in the flow of things. And it's scary to believe in flow because, I could die in the flow and I could be reborn in the flow. So, I'm quite sober in many respects, but I have all the kind of insecurities of someone on psilocybin. Whoa, this is great, but quite intense. I feel that way every day anyway. I'm on a vision quest. Okay, let's keep walking. I gotta piss at some point. Practical concerns now wish to assert themselves to the forefront of my imagination. Is that an animal? Hey! Whoa, it is. Oh, yeah. Hi. Hi. Hit it. I thought that was a bear or a cougar. That's a nice animal. Oh, hey. Good to meet you. Good to meet you. Yeah. You can say hi if you want or smell me. Hi. Good to meet you. Okay. See ya. See ya. Nice, very wolfy dog. That's nice. Just peed in the most wonderful way. I think that was a good way to urinate. I think it was. I'm proud. Mm. I've seen evidence, and my world of evidence may not be your world of evidence, and let's face it, probably isn't really evidence, but let's just say I've seen evidence that when celebrities and famous people die, they don't really die. They don't really die. They don't really die. It's the, and I apologize to their families if I'm wrong. But put yourself in my shoes, you know? It's like, I know it's terrifying, but, you know, if you can put yourself into the shoes of Neil Armstrong, put yourself in the shoes of a man who's got 2 feet firmly planted in a forest near you. So don't upset me. I could be walking by your house on any day, and I will curse you to an enjoyable, warm evening with your children having nothing to do with me. And deprived you will be indeed from the company of a man such as myself, who believes that when celebrities die, they don't die. It's a fake death, okay? I know that sounds awful, but it's like, they don't die. They don't die, man. It would take a very long conversation to prove this to you, but they kind of have their deaths contrived. I mean, it's like you'll never see them again. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's like they're pretty much there is no dead. It's not like Michael Jackson's like, hey, he's back. We made a mistake at the coroner's office, and he's been living in Toledo or something. It's like under an assumed name, you know, just so he could avoid unnecessary questions about his death and pretty much everything else. But you'd be like, Michael, you're a criminal bastard, but we love you. But I mean, it's amazing. I think it's a sign of dominion. It's like, it's incredible what they're able to do. I mean, this is not something most people like maybe thought maybe Jim Morrison or Elvis Presley wasn't really dead, and it becomes kind of like an urban myth. But it's like, in fact, they never really die. It's all made up bullshit. You know, this one story is like Elvis Presley was found as a homeless man under a freeway somewhere, and they did a DNA test, and it was Elvis Presley, but he was like completely gone beyond all recovery. Or I guess he died, or they got some of his DNA. It's sort of like saying, hey, the king is back, but he's a decrepit homeless man laying in a morgue. Oh, shit. It's like, it's sort of, maybe they made that up to set all of that Elvis Presley stuff to rest. It's like, no, he's dead. He was homeless. You know, and then Margot Kidder was like found schizophrenic wandering through the neighborhood. You know, Superman's girlfriend in the original Superman movie. And I think this stuff is all contrived. It's like, holy fuck, you know. And he's like, and if you really want to go around the bend with me here, you can think about, and I don't want to hurt anybody's mind, but you might want to, you probably, and you think yourself very smart for saying this, but you will live to rue the day you asked this 3-letter question. Why? Because you ask any conspiracy theorist, right, the question, why would they do that? Why would they fake the Earth being round when it's really flat? And people always say, like, why? And I don't believe the Earth is flat, by the way. And you're like, wow, that's small relief, you know. But thank goodness for small favors, I guess they would say in my family. But why? So you're gonna rue the moment you ask that, but why would these people all fake everything? And what would it take to do that? And what are they getting out of it? And you're not gonna like my answer. It's not literally, but in a sense, try to look in a mirror around you. Try to hold a mirror up to people, to hold a mirror up to mankind. Hold the mirror of the 20th and 21st century up to mankind. That's why. I'm sorry, but that's why. You know, you want your life to be better? Breathe. Yeah. I mean, yes, be young, be great, be strong, be pure, enjoy life, and breathe strong and feel joy. And I'm sure most people could probably claim to have a lot more joy in their lives than me, but I think if we can shake this yoke, and I'm right, I think we can be a little more freer than that. You know? And it may be that people that have made us a little more free, like you or me, were never nearly even as free as most other people. But they hungered for it enough, and because they did, they improved what we call free. And so if you're out there and you're like me, you don't have to be so great, and maybe you don't feel so great, but you still have something to offer. And that's okay to be modest. It's okay to say you're hungry, to feel like you've done what you needed to do this day because your labors were, well, difficult. Right? Difficult. A lot of people's work is difficult. I don't know what to call myself anymore. But I'm having a good day, and I'm going to smoke a little bit, and then I'm going to make my way. It's a darkening day. The dark is almost cozy, but it means I'm probably going to be left in the dark fairly soon if I don't get home. So, stupid me. Let's get going. And a man and lady, they got together in the wildwood. He had a heart of gold, a virgin penis. She had not understood. No, I've really never seen a pussy. Please be gentle, I might even get stuck. Oh, and the match was made of wood, and that pussy, and that was kind of true love. And we've got to make it over to the pussy, and the trees and their blossoms and things like that. The woods are very horny, like a human. And I think that's a bat. It's flying in your hair. It's really horny. It can't see, but its sonar is really gay. It travels through the woods, always happy, and nothing much to say. What are you talking about? I do not know. I think Bing Crosby was Hitler. When he's dreaming of White Christmas and making plans, there's messages and messages, or a tumor is growing in my hands. What is it, son? Oh, it's a clay tumor. My father. It's a self-portrait. I have 2 big ones already, but I feel like I need 2 more. Isn't it interesting that tumors are like testicles? I always thought of like tumors are like your body's trying to grow new flesh and blood. Even like endometriosis is like a kind of cancer. Right? A woman's womb is trying to make new flesh and blood. So I think like cancer is like an estrogen-related disease where your body is actually starting to be like it has endometriosis. It's trying to make new flesh and blood, but it's confused and thinks it needs to make a new body because maybe this one is going to die. And why does the body think that something's going to die? Because it might have decided that it's had too much of what it now calls poison, and yesterday it called something really wonderful to eat every day of your life. Remember, your number one food, like the number one greenhouse gas is carbon dioxide. Jesus is not really the Son of God, according to God himself. Right? It's interesting. This book speaks out of two sides of its mouth. And I had to wipe my ass with it to learn that. And your number one food is the entire world, respectively. Everything you're taking into your body. Even from in the building of your new flesh and blood, in the great waters of your lovely mother and father, all the western baths of stars. Come on, let's be happy, let's be joyful, but let's be knowledgeable. Let me enjoy this evening and the darkening day by the river. But I'm feeling strong and gay. I was going to say gay, and then I was going to say free. And I thought, no, go gay. I want to change my name to Ben Gay. Hi, gay. Ben Gay. Yeah, right, dude. Ben Gay. That's so funny, dude. Like anyone would call themselves that. It's like, no, I like it. I prefer if you wouldn't laugh. I take that as sexual assault. Well, Ben Gay, it's been nice knowing you, but you're crazy, and I'm going to take me and my girlfriend here and her girlfriend, Nancy, who kind of liked you at first, and we're going to get into our truck and just make jokes about you all the way home. And I think my younger brother, is fairly doable, and he'll get her instead. But my younger brother is also her younger brother, so I guess that's another story waiting to be told. Or begging someone to stop. Either way, I've got to get going. So I will deprive you of my gay imagination. Gay as it is, dark as it may be, like this day is gay and dark. Can I not be gay and dark also? Also. I'm now going to say also, with the emphasis on the second syllable. Also. I am also good. I also have something to say. Also that has needle and thread. All ye who have needle and thread may also. Also, the clouds are gay. Now, I haven't actually tested this scientifically, but they always look like penises to me. That's actually a pretty good joke. Every now and then I get a little wood on the ball, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, my rumpus grumpus is happy, and all is well in the little land of Edelweiss. Edelweiss is a place where little people live, and sometimes they get angry and it hurts. But I put a nice little cream all over Edelweiss, like a gentle rain from heaven, and they settle down quite nicely. Edelweiss, Edelweiss, bless my homeland forever. I think my homeland is an Edelweiss. I think of all the children I went to school with, I was probably had the tightest ass. I really did. I'm not sure if it's because someone had kind of, in a strange sort of sense, stuck a stick up it. I don't know. That whole way that people say, British people can have a stick up their ass, I gotta say, I'm feeling okay. The dark is being really nice to me. My mom's probably wondering why, but that's okay. I've talked to her already today, so she knows I'm up and about in nature, and I'm walking home. I think I'm walking home. Is this home? I don't know. Yes, it is. Okay. Walking home. I was like, I should have brought my flashlight. It's gonna get dark quickly, you stupid motherfucker. Okay, just keep walking. Stop stopping and keep walking. You're okay. I hope we can get home in a good time. Don't take me home to Martha, I don't want to see her gay. Apparel in its way, and laying in its day, a kind of garment for her mind, to wear that raiment that is very fine, a mother's face and father's pride, the greatest raiment of the mind. Oh, la 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 la, la 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 la. Yeah, see, that's nice. See, look, I'm a positive person, really. I'm becoming more positive as the day wears on. It's like, how much more positive could I get? This positivity is going to heal me through and through. I am now healing myself through positivity. I have nothing else to worry about. Dark people have passed. Dark places swiftly scurry away like dark scuttling clouds, and all is made new. This video is very long, isn't it? Very long. I like saying that. I think I should learn to use the phrase very long when talking to women, pretty women. Yes, I've been out here very long today. I should call myself very long stocking. No, that's too quick, too crass. Try it again. Well, it is very long since I've met one such as thee. Very long have I whiled away the hours with my strides, one after the other. Strokes, if you will, upon the great pyre of my manhood. Okay, I'm sorry, James. Okay. Oh, no, shh. Back it up. Okay. Hello there. I am a totally normal man. Please understand that I have smoked an enormous amount of marijuana, but would love you to know that I am safe and sound. I just need to get home to my mother. Okay. Short little leather love sofa where I lay in my sleeping bag and literally have exactly the same sleep every night. Same sorts of dreams, indigestion, water, trips to the bathroom. And somehow it all works. Oh, I love the rhythms of daily life. I mean, a child, you might say, quite perversely, would love my life. It's just life. I mean, before there's time and clocks and disturbing interpersonal problems, there's day and night. And today is another day. And my family, but my mother is waiting at home for me, and that's all I know. I've got to get there.